Hi, welcome to Verse of the Day. My name is Brandon Hathaway. I preach at the Westside Church of Christ in Owensboro, Kentucky. I want to thank you for joining me today as we open up the Bible and study the Word of God. Today we are finishing up the book of Zechariah. We're in Zechariah chapter 14. Zechariah chapter 14. And I'm going to look at the first 3 verses and then jump down to verse 10 and read down through verse 14, or 11 through 14. So, what's your name, sir?
Lyndon John Hathaway.
Lyndon John Hathaway. Alrighty. So verse 1, it says, "Behold, the day is coming for the Lord, when the spoil taken from you will be divided among you. For I will gather all the nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city will be captured, the house will be plundered, the women ravished, and the half of the city exiled, but the rest of the people will not be cut off from the city. The Lord will go forth and fight against the nations, and when he fights on the day of battle." And so these first 3 verses point out, one, it says that day's coming when they will get their spoils back, is what it says there in verse 1, right? It says, when the spoil taken from you will be divided among you. And so the spoil was taken, and now it is being given back. In verse 2, it's bringing out the point that all the nations against Jerusalem into battle, the city will be captured, the house will be plundered, women ravished, half of the city exiled. And so again, not good things for Jerusalem, not good things going to happen there. Half the city is exiled, but then it brings out the other half, though. The rest of the people will not be cut off. And then verse 3, the Lord will go forth and fight for them. And so that brings me over to verse 11. Kind of talks about God's deliverance here. And so verse 11 says, "People will live in it, and there will no longer be a curse, for Jerusalem will dwell in security." Now this will be the plague with which the Lord will strike all the people who have gone to war against Jerusalem. Their flesh will rot while they stand, their feet, their eyes will rot in their sockets, their tongues will rot in their mouth. It will come about in that day that a great panic from the Lord will fall on them. They will seize one another's hand, and the hand one will lift against the hand of another. Judah also will fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of the surrounding nations will be gathered, gold, silver, and garments in great abundance. And so it starts off with the point that, yes, they were captured. Yes, they were attacked. Yes, half the city, right, cast out. But the rest would stay. The remnant would stay. And the Lord would fight for them. The Lord would deliver them. And the Lord would bring back their treasures, that it would be divided among them. And then he will go forth against these nations that have come up against Jerusalem. That he would deliver them. That it, again, sounds terrible on what would take place to those who had come up against them. And so I think a good point as we read through this is a reminder that if we're not faithful, that we do get punished. But we also have to remember that when we turn back to God, God is there to deliver us once more. And we see that with the children of Israel time and again, that as they sin, they're going to face the wrath of God. But if they can be willing to admit their faults, turn back to God, and obey him, then the Lord is there ready to receive them back and to deliver them from their enemies. Let us always lean on God. God will and is able to deliver us. I want to thank you. You got any words there, Mr. Linden?
Bye.
He says it's time to say bye. So we want to thank you. If the Lord is willing, we'll talk to you later.